We shared a fascinating overview of developments in Islamic civilization in an earlier video in Social Sciences playlist. It is a vast topic. In few minutes we can see some of its inspiring highlights. Baghdad's House of Wisdom, established in 8th century AD, was an institute that consolidated all knowledge coming from all corners of the planet: China, India, Greek, Egypt, or anywhere. Knowledge was gathered, translated, organized, and disseminated. That knowledge became the foundation of European science that we are living today. Roman numerals were good for addition and subtraction, but multiplication and division was very difficult. Hindu Arabic numerals solved this problem. The word algebra comes from al-Jabr, in the title of a widely translated book by an Arab mathematician, Musa al-Khwarizmi. He needs no introduction for anyone who has studied maths in middle and high school. Arab mathematicians translated many of the works of Greek science into Arabic. Do you know when someone found out height of the atmosphere, and how did he do that? Ibn Muʿādh al-Jayyānī from Al-Andalus in present-day Spain wrote important commentaries on Euclid's Elements. He is known for the first ever treatise on spherical trigonometry. Eratosthenes measured it, we mentioned earlier. But do you know who measured it with much more accuracy later in Islamic era? Al-Beruni measured circumference of Earth using trigonometric ratios. His calculation was accurate to 5 decimal places. He did this experiment on Salt Range Hills, which are only 50 kilometers away from Islamabad, Pakistan, where I am sitting right now. How do we see? Greek philosophers thought we see something because light comes out of our eyes. Muslim scientists thought eye receives light from the things we see, which our mind then interprets. Scholars in Muslim era continued to believe in geocentric view about the universe, but work and drawings of two Muslim astronomers were very crucial for Copernicus's discovery 300 years later: Ibn al-Shatir from Syria and Nasir Din Tusi of Persia. Medicine, more than any other Islamic science, impacted the European thinking. Abu Bakr Razi, known as Rhazes in the West, wrote important works in many subjects. Medicine, more than any other Islamic science, impacted the European thinking. Abu Bakr Razi, known as Rhazes in the West, wrote important works in many subjects. What differentiates Muslim science from Greek methods and speculation is experiment. Alchemy is the word Orientalists use to belittle the contribution of Muslim civilization. In a very short time, we will share a glimpse of that. Jabir Ibn Hayyan laid foundation of experimental chemistry. Many chemical processes like solution, sublimation, calcination, crystallization, distillation, and reduction were discovered by him. He used calcination methods for purification of metals. He described process of preparation of steel. He also described method of dyeing clothes and leather, for making varnishes to waterproof cloth and preparation of hair dyes. He invented process of making ink for manuscripts, even prepared the fire-resistant paper. 10 centuries before John Dalton, Jabir ibn Hayyan defined chemical combination as a union of elements comprising two small particles that naked eye cannot see. Al-Razi, known as Rhazes, has many contributions in chemistry and medicine. One of the things he did was useful classification of natural substances into earthly substances, vegetable substances, and animal substances. He added number of artificially made substances to his classification, like lead oxide, caustic soda, and various alloys. He catalogued experiments and apparatus. In his own laboratory, Rhazes used about 20 different types of apparatuses, which was precursor of modern laboratory. Al-Majridi from Madrid, Spain is another important name in the history of chemistry. In his book Rutbatul Hakim, The Rank of the Wise, he gives formulas and instructions for purification of precious metals. He was the first person to prove principle of conservation of mass. Centuries later, French chemist Lavoisier restated this principle, and our textbooks credit him for it. But facts are facts, we cannot deny that. We should respect knowledge and honor our heroes, who had the courage to ask questions wherever they belong to. Do you know who wrote first pharmacopoeia? Sabur ibn Sahal was the first physician to initiate pharmacopoeia, describing drugs and ailments. Al-Beruni wrote a book on pharmacology entitled Kitab al-Saidla, the Book of Drugs. For more information on inventions made in Islamic era, here are two very interesting resources: 1001inventions.com and muslimheritage.com. See you next time with more interesting questions and facts from our story of science. Stay tuned.